Happy Saturday. Welcome to the live stream as everyone keeps coming in. I've got aquariums up and running, about 2 weeks too late, but I have them up and running. And we want to welcome you to the live stream. This is Live Fishroom. That's the theme. Instead of Live PD, we're Live Fishroom. Bolo and I have been doing stuff around the fish room all day today, so that's all good. Let's see. First in, Ambest Aquatics, then Anthony's Fishy Friends, and now Griffin Fish Room. And Tampa Tom, welcome to the Mobb, where the Guppy is the Mobb. I'll tell you what, one of the things, I got these aquariums up and running, and I'll put the heaters in later on today, and I'll plug them in tomorrow. I've been watching this one swordtail male, and he's like metallic purple. He's gorgeous, but his sword doesn't look all that good. The color is great. The sword is not. And I think the sword is sort of where it's at. So I think I'm going to be taking, there's a metallic green in there, not quite as striking, but still pretty striking. They'll be setting up, and I'll have that in a video coming up, perhaps on Wednesday. I think I'll put the fish in there on Tuesday. So it's I have nothing going on for New Year's Eve. I may go to one of the indigenous persons casinos that we have by. Yeah, hit that button now. Yes, please. Let's get as many people in here as humanly possible. Let's talk fish before football kicks in, because today's a big college football day. Do we have pro football today at all? I tend to think we probably do. Let me take a look here. It's for whatever reason, I would think this is, but because of the college football playoffs and all that sort of stuff, maybe they don't. So no, I'm not really looking at. I'm going to go a little bit later on here, but I'm not seeing any football, NFL. So weird, absolutely goofy, Anthony. Hey, welcome, and again, thanks for being here. Daryl Deemer in the house. So it's I'm going to look at the NFL channel. By the way, my brother and I have had this happen. There is NFL football later on today. Cowboys, Eagles. Oh, that's a replay. No, so I don't think we're getting any fresh football, NFL football today. But we got great college football. I have LSU and I have Clemson. It's if I was going to put anything down, I would think that Ohio State may be a more talented team, but I think Dabo Swinney is the best college football coach in America, and that's even better than Nick Saban. That's better than anybody. I think in college football right now, I think that's the one to watch. I think he is. He's been just unbelievable at getting this thing done. And obviously, Ed Bergeron at LSU is great. Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma is fantastic as well. So that's it. Getting ready for that. So I've got the new 4 aquariums up and running. I'm going to start heating just 2 of them because I have to move the Amica Splendens over to 2 of the aquariums for probably about 3-4 days as I have to go and empty that 30-gallon, and one of my guys at work who used to play football, he's a big guy. I'm going to lower that water almost the way down to the bottom. I'm buying a 2-inch thick board that I have measured out from from Home Depot, which will get made either today or tomorrow, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. It just depends on my schedule. So today, here's what my personal schedule is. Number 1, live stream with you, hanging out with you guys. Most important thing I get to do. Number 2, I have to pull out the light for these aquariums. I have it. I just haven't pulled it out. and and then get the heaters set up to be plugged in tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited. The aquariums are up and running. They look great. I need to get some small. What I'm gonna try doing for my shrimp in my shrimp in the new aquariums is I'm gonna try doing river rock. See how that works. Chewy, yes, it's alive. It's alive. Thanks. Welcome to the live stream. Great having you here. Um, so the idea here is that I'm gonna set up breeders. Um, I'm gonna do the metallic green one, the swordtail, and get him in with a couple of the gray-bodied females that are half sisters to him. And I'm going to begin setting up my my first round of breeders from the Roebuck Reds I got from our buddy Doug Gray, and they're breeding like those too much. I put in the bottom of this. I put Fluval stratum in the bottom of my of these tanks, and so I have that there, and I'm just going to add in the river rock. I split like 15 pounds between 4 aquariums, and I'll do that on the other 4 10 gallons I set up here. I guess I'm pretty much have to get them going. I opened up today, and I should have done this as an open video. I got one of those metallic gang valves that are set up for 8, which I'll do on all 4 or all 8 of the 10-gallon aquariums I'm doing. And they led me to believe in the pictures that I ordered them off, the thing off of eBay, that I would get suction cups for this gang valve. I didn't get that, so I'm going to have to take the gang valve. I guess I have to look on eBay to see if they have the. Again, it sucks. I thought they were sending that along, and so I need to get suction cups for that. I may zip over again. Put. What do you have in your pocket? I got a gang valve. I think I'm gonna have to put a gang valve in my pocket and go over to Home Depot and Lowe's, and there's like an Ace Hardware here, and try to find suction cups that would fit that, and so I can get that up. I had another gang valve that was set up for 4 aquariums. I set that up, and that's what's running right now. And I've gone like exclusively to these sponge filters that have the media container on the bottom. The ones that I have set up, I have 4 set up on the 8 half the aquariums. They really look they really work well. So I've got I just think it does a good job of keeping the levels right and everything good in the aquarium. They're a little more expensive than a sponge filter, yes. They're about double the price, but they're going to keep the fish happy. I'll deal with it. One of the things I've been playing around doing is doing my own box filters. So I'm sort of playing around with that, but I'm going to have to do some finagling and get some finagling doing. So when I have all 8 aquariums set up, I have right now an air filter, a Tetra air pump that's pumping for is 40 gallons. It's rated for 40 gallons, so it's on 40 gallons right now. I have that'll work really well with this gang valve. I have a Fluval that's certified for 100. So I'll plug that in. And my only complaint about the Fluval and is that this one was not more expensive than anything else, which a lot of the Fluval products are insanely expensive. Insanely expensive. And I think I don't have all the money in the world, and all my money goes to fish and to horses. And I own micro shares in 5 racehorses, and it's I like horse racing. I think it's fun, so it's all good. So yeah, all my spare money goes to fish and racehorses, and I'm there. It's I'll give you the name of the thing. It's called myracehorse.com. And My Racehorse, they do micro shares, and they actually have one. I'm gonna have to buy a share into this. It's for 4 fillies, and it's not a ton of money. It's a lot of money, but it's like I can afford a piece of a horse almost out of every check because they start at $65 a share. And they have an expensive one for like $603 per share. I'm not going to get in on that because unless all of a sudden some money flops in my lap. But again, I need more aquariums. I need more aquariums whatsoever. So, is there a good place? Um, my LFS doesn't have a lot of stuff, and I was looking at PetSmart, and I need some of that bigger river rock. That's like they can set up on the bottom of the aquarium. That's about the size, at minimum the size of a quarter up to a size of a silver dollar. That type of size. Is there a good place to get that? And you guys may have a much better idea than I have. I've looked on eBay, and I don't know if I'm really into it. Lava rock is good. I have lava rock in my to hide the shrimp. Is there a good place to get lava rock? Go to Lowe's or a rock store. I'll take a look at that. I'm going to be in at Lowe's and Home Depot here. Big J's Fish Keeper, welcome to the live stream. Great having you here as well. So, and I'm I'm on the edge of not purchasing more fish because I'm going to tell you something. My guppies are breeding like crazy. Yeah, I'm all about cheap, Griffin Fishroom. All about cheap. Anytime I can save money and get the same type of quality stuff. My LFS is really costly. And I'm going to have to go in and talk to her about, trading for some stuff. And, that's one of the things I need to get. You know what I do not own? That's probably something I have to get because I'm buying a house. I do not own a drill kit. So I need to get one of those suckers. And they're pretty affordable. You can get a pretty nice one for about $100. Do I want to share in a horse or do I want to drill? Or maybe I can go and hit up Brown River Rock would be good too. Yeah. Maybe I could go to it's like the pawn shop and see if I can get a drill cheaper. That's I've occasionally gone I have a fairly nice camera and I'd like to get a big, telephoto type of lens where I can shoot. I like doing camera work. I like photographing nature, and I like filming raptors and other birds. And you see, I use the term filming. I like to take digital pictures. Um, it My whole process with this is that I like taking pictures of of wildlife, of raptors, of birds, of flowers, insects, any of that type of stuff. Well, if you're doing a lot of pictures of like raptors and big birds, you need to have a good big lens. Let me tell you what that costs. My camera equipment, I've got like the Canon T7i, really a nice piece of equipment. I really, really like everything I've done with it. I know there are higher level of camera to get. This is pretty damn good. And it was like an $800 unit, okay, on sale. I think it was $925 on sale at Best Buy. And then I went into Sam's like 2 weeks later, and they were selling the same one for $850. So, but to get one of those big lenses to do that type of shot, you're looking at $4,000 to $7,000 for a lens. Um, if I hit the lottery, yeah, that would be something I would get. Yeah, Chewy, lenses can be really expensive. And I really need to start taking better pictures of my fish because I have this camera equipment and it really does well. I'm really happy with it. So I was out with work this week taking pictures at an event, and it's just how efficient this camera is. It's a rechargeable battery. It the quality is just unbelievable. And yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, I bet you can get in the 10 grand for this, a 10 grand plus if you really want to go nuts. Well, my phone's going off. Let's see what this is. And and okay. One of my a friend of mine who I used to work with, we're in the same type of business, and he just wrote me a note. So and he actually watches this live stream. He keeps fish. And let me let him know I'm doing a live stream. I am a live stream. So, yeah, so the deal is on camera equipment is that you can really go macro. Yeah, that's I the one thing I have not done and I need to go do is I probably should go into Best Buy, or next time I go to Springfield or to Fayetteville, go hit a higher end camera shop and see what the deal is. Yeah, you know what? I'm so new in my neighborhood. Here's who my neighbor I have actually. I should ask this. One of my next door neighbors, she she's a photographer. I need to ask her about lenses, and it wouldn't shock me that she has a drill or her boyfriend has a drill. Um, it's So by the way, I go out and with the realtor on Monday to look at homes for the first time. So I'm really excited about that. And so I'm really excited about going out and looking at homes. I really want to go and he sent me the addresses of the first two, and I wasn't high on the neighborhoods. The houses seemed really nice. They seemed to be what I was after, but they one of them was in kind of an industrial neighborhood, and that's not really where I want to be. Um, I have no desire to ever move again, but because of what I do for a living, moving could happen again. I want to be in a place that people want to buy and want to be in. So I went to the second one, and again, I'm just starting a relationship with this realtor. The house was in a little bit of a better neighborhood. It's a little more residential, but it had some real cheap rentals there, and it was just not necessarily the neighborhood I would want to be in. I don't need to be in the fanciest neighborhood. I just need to be in a neighborhood that's very consistent with what I purchased. It's all I want because it holds the value of the home better. Or if you can get a cheap home in a nice place. I'm not getting a real big home. I'm getting, I'm just getting enough so I can set up 60 to 80 fish aquariums. That's all I want. All I need. I'm single. Got a dog. It's Bolo, by the way, is asleep on my lap. He is absolutely passed out. And so that's good news. He let me sleep in today. I got up a little later than normal, so I got up at 4:40. There were a couple of times this week that he woke me up at 3. I normally get up about 4:20, 4:23 exactly. Right, so it's and anybody who has a dog or a cat, or they're pretty smart and they know your schedule. So if you all of a sudden are off schedule, that sort of freaks them out. I will tell you, if I stay up later than normal, he goes out of his way and starts barking at me. So here's what's going on with the fish. I've got to get that rock, and then I'm in between getting the Blue Dream or getting the yellow uh, uh, shrimp. So it's one of these aquariums. I'm gonna move over some of my fire reds, my fire red shrimp, and allow them to grow out. So again, I have more baby shrimp. I'm on the one aquarium. Go blue. You see, I like blue a whole lot. So it's it may be blue. So we'll figure that out. So it's I'll reach out to I'll see if my boy Logan with Ambist Aquatics has any. If he doesn't, I'll go. I the guy I would want to purchase from, and I really like him, is the Flip Aquatics guy. And every time I go to his website, he's sold out. He must do a heck of a business. So I appreciate everything he has going on. So I got mine from I think it was like JC's shrimp and things or whatever. Hey, you do, Logan? Okay, good, 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 good. Well, I'm going to be a few weeks away from getting that done, so we'll converse and we'll get some shrimp from you. And I've got a red, blue, and black, and blue tank always gets the most attention. Now there you go. Yeah, it's I appreciate it. And I think that having the super red, or not super reds, keep saying super reds for the plecos. By the way, I still think I'm on my edge of having babies. Someone said, shoot a flashlight into it. And I've just moved into this place and I haven't fully unpacked because I'm not living here forever. So start shopping again Jan 6th. Hey, Logan, put up your website. You have the ability to do that. You're a mod. So it's Logan has great stuff. I've gotten stuff from him really good. All right. So I think that's I think I'll get that going on. And I think blue with the Roebuck red Delta tail guppies will look really good together. And and my wonderful my fire red shrimp. I mean, these things are like. So I'm probably gonna have to get in the thing of learning how to ship stuff. So it's I watched a couple of videos of people who say here's how I do stuff. I think that I am on my way to beginning that, mainly because I'm gonna have so many shrimp and so many guppies that it's just and I have to talk with my LFS. And next time I go to Fayetteville or Springfield, I have to stop by a couple of these stores saying, hey, can we make a deal? So, I had a really good deal with my when I was in Little Rock, and she sold half black purples, my extra half black purples. Normally for Guppy, she was selling them for $3 each. she was selling those for $6 each. And she gave me trade for, fish food and junk like frozen food. That's good enough for country. But, that's now 275 miles away. And she promptly has just quit her job after being there. She was a manager there, and she's now a librarian. So there you go. Yeah, so I was just going through there. The other thing I have to order, uh, is um, another brine shrimp, hatchery. I have 2 up right now, but I probably really need to start doing 2 hatches a day with these guppies. Lumpy Dog in the house. Welcome to the live stream. Great having you here. 11 here, 7 thumbs up. Thank you guys very much. By the way, this live stream not brought to you by the official drink of college football, Dr. Pepper. Yeah, man, good times. So my so that's what's going on at the fish room. My brine shrimp hatching is doing really well. I'm going to try a different brine shrimp service, and I'll let you guys know. One of my friends was telling me that the brine shrimp service that they started using is really, really good. And I've always thought that brine shrimp direct was pretty expensive for what you were getting. In fact, so far I've only gotten brine shrimp from Your Fish Stuff off of eBay, and I buy like a half a gram or whatever I get. I buy brine shrimp eggs like cocaine, and I buy that, and it works. The hatch rates really well. Well, someone was telling me about another service they use, and I'm going to try that out, and I'll let everyone know how it is. Their prices are pretty good, are on a par with Your Fish Stuff. So it's and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but this may be just me. And again, I'm pretty frugal, cheap. Is that they go in and look at um, all of a sudden, if a lot of channels on FishTube seem to be talking about somebody, talking about a service, talking about this, talking about that, the prices at that place always seem to go up. There are some exceptions. There are several fish channels that talk about, Lisa and Martin and Super Cichlids. Super Cichlids has great prices on their fish food. I've ordered food from them several times. I will continue to order from them. I love them. They're great people. Okay. They are normal. But there are some of these things that everyone goes out and talks about. And one of them is brine shrimp direct. And I just have found the prices to be way too high, and the hatch level cannot be any better than what I'm getting. So yeah, it's $8 bottles of brine shrimp eggs, decent size. Forgot the name of the brand. Yeah, the Your Fish stuff I get off of eBay. Um, again, has pretty good hatch rate. I order like they send it in an envelope, like a sealed plastic envelope, and it arrives. I put it in the freezer, and when I'm out, I have like a plastic container that I put them in and keep them in the freezer. Seems to work out really well. So pretty well all the way around. So that's kind of the deal there. Um, the other thing that I seem to notice is that is that I don't know. I have not used any of the Fluval heaters, and the Fluval heaters are really, really nice. The ones that change color, they have like an LED type of thing. Really nice, but they're really freaking expensive. So for my tens, I get the Aqueon preset. Uh, I get it off of eBay or Amazon, whichever has the best deal. And instead of paying the wacky people at PetSmart want like $18 for one of those things. So it's go from there. Yeah, I agitate the eggs, lumpy dog. I do it. I've seen the different setups, of there's a couple of different types of brine shrimp hatcheries. One of them has sort of like they fly up they swim up into the light, and you take them out from there. Um, and I've seen that demonstrated. I saw the other one, which is sort of like the maze of shrimp death, where you set them up in the middle and then they begin to swim out to the light. I've seen that. I've seen those. I have not used them. It's some of the Guppy guys. It's I hatch. I hatch up my baby brine shrimp, um, and allow the shells to rise to the top. I usually let it wait. I usually turn off the agitation for a couple of minutes. It. I have. You like the hatching dish, Tampa Tom? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to try that when I get into the new house. I'll try that out. And so as I continue the process, been approved for the loan. I know what kind of a house I want. I know, it's just a matter of finding it. And of course, starting to look, the last week of December, not necessarily the biggest time for home sales, but a lot of people who have their home sales are kind of hungry. So it's and the one thing I want in the backyard is I want a fence, in a privacy style fence, mainly because of my pooch. My, because you have these little sissy dogs like I have, and I'm a sissy dog enthusiast. It's I would prefer a bigger dog, but this is part of my family in the past, so I've got him. People steal them, so you can't leave them in the yard for any type of thing. And for fencing, you want the idea of a high privacy fence. You sure as hell ain't leaving these things out in the yard if you're away from the house. You're bringing them in, so it's um, yeah. You see, lumpy dog. That's what I like to do. I like to lay out in the sun and the glory that God gave me. And by the way, there was a story about people sun tanning their nether regions. You see this like about 2 weeks ago, and where people like sit in the prone position to show off God's glory, to the sun upstairs, and it was Josh Brolin. Apparently, yes, it is. Doug Gray in the house. Josh Brolin apparently burned himself in the nether regions. See, that's why I don't naked. I'm not going to burn myself down there. No desire. I'm not that vain. It's the idea is that no one's going to see your bum hole and your stuff except for the person you're in a relationship with. That's the way it should be. Or, perhaps your doctor if they have to, that thing. And you see, there you go. Could be the Irish influence. Could be, it's, I don't know. Who knows? I just find it very confusing. And Chewy started that trend as a practical joke. Yeah, the Canadians, they're very polite. Very polite. Yeah, so the fish deal is that, is getting the brine shrimp. My fish get brine shrimp every day, and I'm gonna have to start doing it twice a day. And I just I feed Doug Gray's high protein food. It's I feed ultra pellet to my guppies. I have Northfin fry food. Fish are growing out like there's no tomorrow. And in one aquarium, actually in a couple of these aquariums, I already have my third generation of guppies. So I'm pretty excited about that. And my Roebuck Reds will be set up. I'll set up a couple of breeding tanks of them. It's it's lots of good stuff going on in the fish room. Lots of stuff. So I got a kind of a neat gift for Christmas. One of my siblings sent me one of those sound bars for the TV, and I haven't set that up yet. So I may have to be doing that later on today when I get home. When I'm done with today's live stream, I've got to go to the mailbox because I'm expecting some stuff, and I got to go to the gym because I've started my working out regimen, and it feels really good to be doing it. So and I didn't go for a couple of days this week because on Thursday I was not feeling well. So I went home from work early and I went to bed, and I'm feeling good now. Hey, not Nola Jane Fish Rich. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for feeding it out. That's very nice of you. So so I've got to go to the mailbox, go to the gym, and get back here and set up the Christmas gift that I got, and put up my new fish light. And I guess I have to bring down. I have 4 more 10 gallons in 4 gallon tanks in my spare bedroom, and I'm gonna have to bring them down and wash them out and get them ready. And I guess on when I get paid on Friday, or I paid on Monday or Tuesday, I'll have to order some more of the Fluval Stratum in black. I was in an LFS in Fayetteville a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't have black. They had red, the natural color red type stuff, and I really don't want it. And it's the idea. Thank you very much, not Nola Jane Fish Rich. I really appreciate it. Thumbs up, everybody. I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much for supporting the Mob Guppy channel, enjoying the Mob. Yeah, in fact, that's another thing I need to get. I need to get more meds. I need to get more general cure and erythromycin. I'm just about out. And I had like 2 aquariums where weird stuff happened, and I had to medicate them a few weeks ago, and I need to pick that up. See, it never ends. So the good news, I don't have to buy anything else except for the stratum for the new aquariums. I have everything in house. I have my filters. I have my lights, aquarium lights. I have I have heaters all set up, so it's all ready to go. So it's nice. It's let's see here. Notre Dame is beating Iowa State as we get later on today. And I have picked, by the way, speaking of football, getting off fish for a second, I've picked Clemson and LSU. I just think that Dabo Swinney is way too good of a coach, and LSU is way more talented than Oklahoma. But obviously, all really good teams. So it's but we'll see how that goes in. Three of those teams are undefeated until you defeat somebody for the first time. You don't know if you punch them in the head. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing with the shrimp, getting that going in. I've been looking at racks for the new Fishroom because I'm going to go for more of those heavy duty ones that are longer that I can put, and mainly because I don't do a lot of construction. It's just not my deal. Where I can set them up. And I'll tell you what, hey, Mr. Bees, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Brandon. I'll tell you something that my one of the reasons I don't do a lot of construction is that I was misdiagnosed when I was a teenager. Remember they did the scoliosis thing when you're like 12 and 13, and they misdiagnosed me. And in my lower back, I have severe scoliosis. And so any type of bending over and doing stuff like that, it's always been painful. I've gone to physical therapy over it and that type of stuff, which helps out. And I probably should probably hit a chiropractor a few times a year, just to go through and get it going in. But I'll tell you what, I was just setting up stuff earlier today, and it wasn't a lot of bending over, and I was in agony. I was in real pain. So and the strongest thing I take is like a Tylenol. So that's what's going on right from here. It my thinking of this is that as I get this fish room continuing to go, or as I get into the new place, um my lease is up on April 30th. I have to be I want to close at the beginning of April so I can go in. Essentially what I want to do, and you're in Canada land, New Brunswick. It's where my mom's side of the family all immigrated to that area of Canada, and from France. So it's all good. Yeah, no, back pain it's not a joke. So I try to work around with it as much as I can. I don't like the deal is it's just certain activities go through, and if I don't do enough stuff, I'm in just agony. So at the office at work, um, if I'm at my desk for more than an hour straight, I'm in trouble. So I get up and just start walking. I do a lap around, a couple of laps around the building just to stretch everything out. And that's very helpful to go through. I get it, Chewy. It's just, yeah, it's not a joke, man. I know. I feel your pain. It's, I've gone through periods where my back has been absolute agony, where I can barely move, barely do anything. I've been very fortunate the last few years. I haven't had a real episode like that. Um, I had, I was in a car wreck that it wasn't a big one, but I got T-boned in a parking lot. And it was the angle on my back caused all sorts of issues. And, so yeah, I got physical therapy. I went to the insurance company of the person that hit me. Um, she, they offered me like $200 to sign off. I'm going, hey, my copay for physical therapy is like $90 each time. I said, I don't want to hire a personal injury attorney. They were on the phone with me like 2 days after. The accident happened on a Saturday, and they were on the phone Monday, Tuesday at the latest. And each day it was getting worse. And so, like on day it was like Wednesday of that week, I went to a personal injury attorney, and they covered everything. They covered it all. And it was, I did like 15 physical therapy sessions, and the personal injury attorney, took care of all that up front. Um, I received an MRI on my back, which I saw more. I saw the misdiagnosis with the scoliosis, and so they. By the time I was done with the therapy, I felt pretty good, and occasionally have a little bit of pain, but most of all, really, really pretty good. And the people at physical therapy, it just helped me get much better and much better. Well, this back pain's been with me my entire adult life, so it's just I can Hey, Scott, King and Queen Cichlids in the house. What's up? Hi, Liz. Fish Tropic in the house. Thank you very much for joining the live stream. And Scott, your live stream tonight's at 7 o'clock Eastern, right? I know our buddy Michael of Michael's Fishroom is going to go at 8 Eastern, and so it's so we have a lot of good stuff today between live streams and college football, and we're talking about good times all the way around. So it's a lot of cool stuff to watch. So, the Aussies, yeah, don't even go there with the Aussies. They just go forever. Thank you, not Nola Jane Fish Rich. So the process of let me get into what was I gonna say? I got caught up. Hold on. Let me reboot my brain. Oh, my brother and I were having this conversation. I don't know if any of you guys have gone through this as well. All of a sudden, my cable bill went up like $60 a month. And, what I was paying was, with the internet and what I can get a streaming service for, that gets me basically everything I want. I was paying probably about $15 more a month. And well, I called the cable company and they had nothing. They were not negotiating a thing. So I sat there and oh geez, you settled? This kid, 19 and no better, took $2,500. Thought it was a lot of money when I was just a kid. Got squished between two 4x4 trucks. Broken pelvis, worst decision. Yeah, I'm going to tell you the one thing it's any of you who have kids that are in school and athletics, or you're a 15, 16-year-old and playing sports. Big City Betta's in the house. How are you? If you go out and hurt yourself in any sport in school, make sure that you don't allow your kid to play until they're healed. Watch out for concussions. Watch out for knees. Watch out for ankles. I have a friend of mine that that went, that hurt his ankle in playing high school basketball. It's all good. It's all good, Scott. Thanks for lurking. I'll take anybody as we can get them. Lurk away. All fine with me. It's I just appreciate you being here. So thank you so much. So, you go in and if you go in and so this buddy of mine injured his ankle. He injured at the beginning of basketball season, his senior year in high school. Of course, you want to play as much as you play because this guy wasn't going on to the next level. which is most of the people who are involved with that, right? Well, he goes in, and it's been 30 years since then. This guy, his ankle, he has to wear like compression socks. He has to wear stuff like that. And I will tell you that if he would have just taken, it was at the beginning of his senior year. If he just would have taken a month off and just braced the thing up, he probably would have healed just fine. But he played all year just taping up that ankle, taping up that ankle, and just absolutely just screwed. So the process that it comes into is that, when we get injured, you've got to deal with it. You got to be real serious with it. And yeah, no, it's concussions are a big deal. And yeah, it's concussions from hockey, football, really basketball. You can get those. The sport that has to have a lot of concussions and is soccer or football. Um, you're hitting a soccer ball, and I have heard soccer aficionados say, "Oh no, it's not like being hit like in football or by like boxing." I've heard the same people have that argument over MMA. I've seen some of these guys get punched pretty doggone good in MMA. You're going to tell me these guys are not going to have CTE 30 years from now, 20 years from now? Come on. I'm not that stupid. I've seen enough in my life. So, well, if Amber got a house, I'm getting a house too. It's I can't wait for that to kick in. So congratulations. And it just means I can set up more aquariums. And hey, I'll tell you what, you grew up in Minnesota, hockey's a pretty big deal. That's where I grew up. Yeah, Chewy, that's just not it's not a joke. Not a joke at all. The process of those of brain injuries and ACL, MCL injuries, it's pretty serious stuff. You grew up playing hockey in Florida. Wow. Yeah, so again, it's all about so it's just well, I'm glad you found and you're really happy with it, Big City Bettas. And is that being in your own home? I've owned a home before. It's just going through out there. You know, Scott, when we talk personally, um, I'll tell you my Prince stories and my Time story, Morris Day and the Time, and it's because of what I have done in my life. I used to be invited to parties, and I'll just go into this a little bit. When I was new and I was working in the entertainment industry, I was doing things like this. I was in the Twin Cities, which had two hot music scenes. Obviously Prince was like the king of it. And then you had, Morris Day and the Time and Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Alexander O'Neill, the whole gang, the whole group of guys. Then you had sort of the punk scene or post-punk scene. You had Babes in Toyland, all-female punk group. They had some mid-level hits, but a couple of the gals from Babes in Toyland joined a group called Hole with Courtney Love. You had the Replacements, you had Husker Du, you had Soul Asylum, other things. Well, I was much more into the punk type stuff, but I met a couple of the guys, and I got invited to some parties, and not with the punk guys, with the funk guys. So I never met Prince. Um, it's but I met his mother and his sister a few times, and really really nice people. Um, but I would be into these things, and I got to know, Jerome Benton. I got to know Morris. I got to know Monty, Jesse, Terry, and Jimmy, Jelly Bean. The time, and and those are really, really, really good guys. And Prince's cousin, Chaz, had written a book a long time ago, and Chaz was a part of Grand Central, which was the band with Prince and with Morris Day. So there you go. So I spent, I got to spend a lot of time, you know, for just the average. It wasn't like I hung out with them all the time, but I got to know them, and I couldn't. I mean, really, really nice people. So there we go. So next time or whenever we meet Scott, I'll tell you my stories, and obviously they're not as good as Morris Day's stories, but they're good stories. So do you know what? I met Andre Simone, and I was out, and again, here I am, the punk guy. Oh, you actually met Chaz. Well, that's cool. I again, I was a punk kid, and but I fell in with all these guys. And they're just great people. I just like being with them. So I was at a club, and it was, quote unquote, the urban club. I went out with my buddy, with a couple of my buddies, Ray and Jimmy, and we went out to ladies' night. And again, I'm the whitest man who's ever lived on the planet. And but I'm out there trying to dance along with some poor African American woman, realizing I've just danced with the white man with the worst rhythm in the entire planet. So so I'm out there dancing with this poor African American woman, having to put up with my bad dancing, and I'm pretty close. And so I'm out there dancing. White man's overbite, the whole deal. And I look over to my left, and there's Andre Simone and Jody Watley. And Jody Watley and Andre Simone were married for a long time. So it's like the song ended, and there was like a pause there for a second. I go, Jody Watley. And I met Andre several times in and out because he'd get invited to a lot of stuff. And his relationship with like the time and with Prince, was very complicated. Very complicated. Um, but yeah, really cool stuff. So there you go. So there's my uh, sorry, I don't want to get overflow a tank that's going on from there. But I will tell you, I was at a party, and and this is back in the days before selfies, and you get invited to a party like this. It was You get invited to a party, with quote unquote famous people. Well, before selfies were a thing, um, I never bring a camera to that type of stuff. I never brought a camera. Now I can produce witnesses. But I never brought a camera to any of this. In fact, um, I have a buddy of mine who I've known for a long time, who's a pretty famous comedian. He's not like the biggest comedian in the world, but if I said his name, you would know the name. Okay. Um, and he and I are friends on Facebook. He and I are friends on Twitter. We exchange notes back and forth all the time. And and okay, sounds good, Scott. We'll be monetized here someday. We're slowly getting there. So, well, no, that's right. But I own cameras. I've always been kind of a shutterbug. So, you're invited to a party. There's going to be a lot of people there. I never brought a camera ever. I never brought my camera. And so so this comedian buddy of mine who you would know, but again, not he's a household name, but not like one of the top tier comics. It's not like Seinfeld or Dave Chappelle or Bill Burr, or, Rickles or somebody that's huge monster huge. Okay, base big, you'd know him. So he was commenting on Twitter a while ago about certain things with celebrities being stopped, and I just wrote, I said, it's funny is that when I have been with my friends who are quote unquote or people that I've acquainted with, because there's the idea of friends, is that a friend is somebody you've had lunch with a couple of times. Um, there's just good acquaintances, people you like. Um, but it's just we use the term friend a little loosely sometimes. So, but I just sat there. I said, you know, I have, when I've met somebody that you want to sort of get a selfie with, um, I usually only do it if it's offered. I never ask for one, ever. There's a couple of reasons why. Number one, if you're somebody who is famous, you are treated like a commodity. You are treated like um, somebody that you're treated like a thing. And Tiger Woods was giving this quote the other day, or someone wrote about Tiger Woods. Um, I think they were quoting him because I didn't hear this directly from him. Yeah, we'll get lunch. We'll get lunch, Tampa Tom. One of these fish conventions, I'll show up. It's all good. Yeah, that's the deal. Is that obviously I know a lot of you guys, and I like you guys a lot. But you know, I don't know the names of your kids. I don't know the name of your spouse. I don't know that. It's what you know about me and what I know about you is what you've revealed on your channels or what I've said about myself. So that's sort of the deal. So the the deal is that if you're around somebody, if you're ever somewhere and there's somebody famous, sit and watch them. So Tiger Woods, someone was either quoting him or explaining Tiger Woods and something I saw on ESPN or something like this in the last 6 months. And one of the things is apparently Tiger got to the point where he looked at everybody and everything as transactional. Is that everything was a transaction for business. And most of these people who I've been around who have some sort of notoriety to them, obviously you become an actor or a musician, to receive, you know, a, to be known. That's part of the deal. And so you go into the process of, you sit and you watch. When I lived in New York, I became friends with somebody that, again, somebody you'd really know. And his daughter now is a very famous model. Um, and this is somebody I went to lunch with, breakfast with occasionally. Um, I was involved with something down in Mexico. He came down with me, and this finger, and so it's somebody I know really well. And but if you went and had a cup of coffee with him, this was the seating arrangement. He showed up usually wearing a hat. Sometimes he hadn't shaved in a few days, and he'd be underdressed. And I would sit facing out. And if there was anyone else with us, we'd be facing in. And so people couldn't really see his face. And when he did get recognized, he was always excited about it. But then it became, it's a very difficult thing to go through. So you go and you look at it's you look at how these people are treated, and where Tiger Woods was treating people transactionally, a lot of people, when they run into celebrities, they treat them transactionally as well. Can I get a selfie? Can I have a brief conversation? Can I, whatever. So the idea here of treating people as you'd want to treat, is treating people like they're normal human beings. And that's how most of these people operate. They want to be treated like normal. They don't want to, they want to be as normal as humanly possible. And depending on the level of celebrity, very, very difficult. And it's very, very difficult to be quote unquote normal. And because people are around you trying to figure out it's why you're there. So, well, hey gang, I got to get going. I got to go run an errand or two, hit the gym. Thanks for joining the live stream. Join Scott and Liz later on tonight. And yeah, by the way, it's supermodels dig me. You know why? They like a portly, balding man. Hey, thanks very much, Lumpy Dog. Thank you guys for being here, and be there for Scott tonight. He's going to be at 7 Eastern. King and Queen Cichlids. Michael's Fishroom is going to be following him at 8 Eastern. And you guys have a great day. We'll have a video out tomorrow, so I look forward to you go through and we'll go from there. Again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate having you, and there. Thank you.